Hi guys, Mark Middleton here. The DAW is essentially where you'll spend most of your time mixing. There are different flavours from different providers, but essentially they all provide similar features and all to some extent have the same functionality. There are two views you'll tend to use most. These are the arrangement view and the mixer view. The arrangement view is essentially what it says on a tin. It gives you an overall view of the arrangement, so essentially the number of instruments relates to the number of channels, and each of those channels is an instrument. So in essence, you can see when something is playing too. The playhead plays the song from left to right, giving an indication as to the user's whereabouts in the song. Moving the playhead back acts like a rewind function, and moving it forward is like a fast forward function, and also there's play and stop functions too. The mixer view looks similar to an actual mixing desk with channels. Channels correspond to the instruments in the arrangement view, and each one of these has got a fader with pan controls. Differences between this and a standard mixing desk is that you're far less limited to the number of channel strips you can add to a DAW session. So these are the two mixing channels we're going to be looking at today. One of them is Pro Tools and one of them is Logic, and as you can see they're actually both quite similar. We have inserts, and basically these inserts allow for addition of EQ, compression, effects and such things like that. We have the send section, and this is basically for routing to different buses and different effects and stuff like that. Don't worry too much about that at the moment. We'll go into that in a bit more detail in other videos. Below the sends is the I/O, and this actually relates to the input and output of the channels. Now, as you can see, if you just look at the bottom boxes at the moment, they're both routing to the main stereo output. Logic says stereo out and Pro Tools says out 1, 2. This just indicates that they're both routing to the main output. On the Pro Tools one, we've got an input to the channel of in1. Now this would relate to your Firewire device or whatever you've got kind of recording, whatever you'd use for recording, this would be your input to the channel. And on the Logic one, we haven't actually got an input selected at the moment, which is fine. So what we've done here is we've basically recorded what we need to, and we've basically said there's no more input for that, so this will be purely for playback now. So as you can see, if you have multiple channels, you're recording multiple channels at a time, you can have multiple inputs set up coming from your Firewire interface, and these would go into multiple channel strips in your DAW. So other things that the channel strips have in common is the pan settings, so you can pan from left to right, and you've also got the solo buttons, the mute buttons, the faders and the output setting as well. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of commonality between the two, and that's really because of where they've both come from. They've both come from the desk environment, and they've translated from the desk environment into the DAW we see today. So that's why they're quite similar in the way that their applications are and the way that they're laid out and their terminology as well. Okay guys, that's it for now. I hope you've enjoyed it and speak to you soon.